guys, how's it going? Today I'm working in a shady area of our garden. So I'm in the front yard right beneath our crabapple tree where the Hebe fountain is, which I'm not sure if you can see her. Yep, right there. There are some beautiful plants in this area. I'll give you a little tour here. But the main reason I wanted to make this video was to show you this brand new plant that's coming out next year. Right here. It's a new Pulmonaria called Spot On, and it's a really excellent plant for shade. And they bloom in the spring, really sweet pink blooms that usually turn to kind of a blue color, but I would grow this for the leaves alone. Look at how unique and gorgeous that is. So pretty. I do have to admit that this project has snowballed. I brought 5 of the Pulmonaria out to plant in this area. Then I got to looking at the other little gaps that were in the same spot. So I've brought out a few other things. So let me show you the spot and then we'll go from there. So there are the Pulmonaria right there, all 5 of them. Can you see Russell in there? This spot is very dappled at the moment. It really is all day long. So I'm hoping you can see the detail of all the plants in here. And it's an interesting spot because the front here gets sun at the very end of the day, but for the most part, this whole thing is in shade. So what I had going in here to begin with were all these gorgeous hostas in here. You can see how beautiful. There's some campanula, heucheras, hellebores right there. On the other side, there's some hardy geranium, and there's some tradescantia, which I'm probably gonna remove at some point because it's like the height is wrong with that right there, and it wants to spread itself around. You can see how much more sun this side's getting. But I had this open spot in the front, and I had some caladiums that I really wanted to get in the ground. And these are called Heart's Delight. Aren't those pretty? I actually planted some very similar, if not the same, I can't remember quite, but I planted some caladiums in this exact spot last year and they really did well, even with overhead water. So I thought I would repeat that. There's some all gold Haconocloa. You can see it beyond Russell's tail. And toward the back here, there was just kind of this open space. I originally had tried the lungwort back there because I really don't want anything super tall or bulky because I love the structure of that fence. And I like to be able to see, oh my goodness, look at you. Aren't you the king? You are, aren't you? So cute. Anyway, I don't want anything super bulky because I like to see Hebe from all the way around, even though I never have her running because I don't have the proper pieces. I really need to contact the company, have them send me the proper pieces to get her running. Anyway, I think the Pulmonaria is going to be happier here because it gets more water. It does like to have fairly moist soil, which shady areas usually do provide for most plants. So I'm going to fill in the back area here with these elephant's ear, Heart of the Jungle, which these, the tag says full sun, but I've seen so many people who grow them in shade that I thought it would be fun to try them here. Just because I planted some behind the chicken coop recently, they get a lot more sun back there, so we'll be able to experiment and see how they do here versus behind the chicken coop. And then I'm going to underplant those with a little bit of Wicked Hot Coleus. So see what I mean about snowball? Like 5 plants turns into I don't even know how many I ended up with out here. But I think it's gonna be beautiful and this whole area is gonna be completely full when we're done. But I really do want to talk mostly about the Pulmonaria, so let's go through a little bit of detail about this plant. First of all, here's a close-up of the leaves. Aren't those just so beautiful? They've almost got kind of a fuzzy quality about them. There's the underside. And they come up from like a center rosette right there. Just absolutely gorgeous. They don't even need blooms, but here's the tag right here. You can see the blooms there. Start out pink and kind of turn blue. So these grow 14 to 16 inches tall, spread out 18 to 20 inches, and they are super hardy down to zone 3. And they bloom in late spring, so of course they're done blooming this year. But they're just such a great option for shade. Just an absolutely gorgeous, like front of a flower border option. So the common name of Pulmonaria is lungwort, which I think is quite unfortunate. I guess it got its name because of the green leaves with white spots. They resemble a diseased lung. That's what I have read in the past. I don't know if that's true. If so, people shouldn't be naming plants based on diseased body organs or parts. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think they could have come up with a much better name for this plant. The other interesting thing I read, and I don't know if this is true, but I always like to do a little bit of extra research on all the plants I'm putting in my garden, but I read that the white spots in the leaves are actually air pockets that help cool the underside of the leaves. And then they mask the appearance of chlorophyll, of course, because they lack green. So that creates that kind of pattern. And then the leaves that have more white or silver in them actually can tolerate more sun, which I don't know. I've never known a lungwort to be able to tolerate a whole bunch of sun, so I don't know if there's a lot of truth in that, but I just thought it was interesting as I was reading up on this type of plant. So a lot of times these leaves last well into winter, even for us, which typically, like in the past, we've been a zone 5, but I think they've moved us to a zone 6 now, but they last for a really long time. And when they're in bloom, they attract bees and hummingbirds, which is really fun. So now really all we've got to do is get these planted. Aaron said he was gonna come out and help me dig all the holes. Almost done. I just have to get in here and plant these last ones in the back. The holes have been dug, but before Aaron leaves, which thank you for digging the holes for me, do you want to give us your thoughts on this new auger?
This is my favorite so far.
Of that diameter?
Of this diameter. So it's a 3" by 36". If I'm wrong about the height, I'm pretty sure it's 36 because the other one was a 48, I believe.
Which we showed you guys in a previous video.
Oh, right. Yeah. And that was a little bit, okay, so if you're like 6'5" or taller, which some people are, the taller one would be great. But I'm 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
This is perfect.
3 feet. He bought those, this one and the 48-incher, because we want to be prepared for fall bulb planting so that nobody has to bend over for 3,000 bulbs. I don't know if we're going to plant that many bulbs this year, but...
I will say, though, the longer that the shaft is, the more power you need on your drill.
Oh,
so,
sure.
Like, I feel like this length and the other one max out this drill. And this is a fairly powerful drill.
Which one is that?
I don't know. It's the DeWalt 20-volt. But it's the one that has the handle on it.
Mm-hmm. There's
smaller ones that are still 20-volt. But all I'm saying is that I feel like you need a pretty powerful drill to handle this size of an auger.
All right, now I'm going to finish planting. And here's the area all planted. I really am going to try to come out here when the lighting's a little bit more favorable, like when it's all in the same lighting, so that we can make sure to see all the detail. But I really like the texture of the elephant ear in the back there, especially once they start to fill in just a little bit. And then the coleus is a nice color. I actually had brought out a more chartreusey looking coleus, and it was just too much of that kind of color in here because I've got the coast to coast and then the apple teeny, right, or apple twist, I think, right here. Anyway, so a lot of that chartreuse color, and I just needed something to break it up a little bit. And then I love the pulmonaria. I think that is so, so pretty right there. And they should fill in really beautiful and kind of become a thick kind of drift in that spot. I really like how the area turned out. I think there's a lot of interesting colors and textures while not leaning on a lot of blooms. I mean, there's really not a lot of flowers in that area, and it's just so pretty to me. It's so peaceful, and there's still so much interest. And the one last thing that I wanted to mention about the pulmonaria is that it likes neutral to alkaline soil. And that's probably why I like it so much, because we have high alkaline soil here, and it does really well for us. So anything that does really well in our native environment, I love it, and I like to use a lot of it in my garden because then I don't have to fuss with it and add in a bunch of different things to make it happy. And that's it for today's project. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this area kind of get filled up for the year. You know, mid-July, no big deal, a little late. But it feels like it doesn't matter what time of year it is. There's always holes to fill in the garden. There's always places to plant, and plants kind of, you know, waiting in the wings to go in. So it's fun, and I love it. And I love that we're able to get out here still, and we're trying to be a little bit more strategic about where we're working. We try to work early in the morning, in the evenings, and then in a shady spot in the afternoon if we have a project that calls for it. So anyway, I hope you guys are all surviving the heat, and I hope you guys all have a really great day. See you in the next video. Bye.